Hello everyone and welcome to Golden Nova's First Reacts, where I react first all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first. And folks, it finally happened. We have a Universes Beyond set in Yu-Gi-Oh! And our first crossover is with the premier Nike, the shoe company. Yeah, I mean, it's not the first brand collaboration they've done before, and I doubt it will be the last. Let's go ahead and check out them and the rest of the free agent Doom of Dimensions cards, which means I think it's the... You said it, Moby. It might be the last time we have Doom of Dimensions on this channel, at least for preview. So, gosh, I feel like only yesterday we were spoiling DD cards. Though, before we get started, I would like to address something. A lot of people said that the audio was too loud last time, and I want to tell all of you... Yeah, it's 100% correct. I messed up the audio mixing for that one. Oops. This one should hopefully be better. Editing Nova, keep this in mind. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the Nike shoe cards. Trap of the Poisonous Scorpion, a normal trap card. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy it, then inflict 300 damage to your opponent. Oh, okay, so it's Sakuretsu armor with a little bit of burn damage attached. This is a reference to the shadow game from Chapter 8 of the original manga, The Poison Man, in which Yugi and the owner of the Junkie Scorpion fought to claim coins while avoiding a scorpion. The owner ultimately cheated and got shadow gamed. That's hilarious. I did not at all, and do not at all remember this, but I guess I wasn't a very avid manga reader. I think I have volume 1. And then Winds of Victory, which I believe Nike is the goddess of victory in mythology of Greek or Roman origin. I always forget which one Nike is. Equip spell card, it gains 300 attack and also becomes wind. Cool, that's funny. I could see that being used for something funky, but neither of these are meant to be really powerful. I think they're generally just either references or just here to show off some shoes. Cool. Good for them. Let's go ahead and check out the next one. Some real-ass cards coming in Doom of Dimensions. First up, we have Varifar, the Kick Deity. The Kick Deity? It's supposed to be like the Kickman series? What? Like this Kickman and Chopman? Level 11 Earth Fiend only has 2100 attack and 800 defense. Okay. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field that targets a monster that you control, or when your monster is targeted for an attack by an opponent's monster as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can reveal a card in your hand to the opponent, then apply this effect to that opponent's monster based on the type of card revealed. If you reveal a monster, change it to defense position. If it's a spell, its attack becomes doubled, or if it's a trap card, you banish it. Who's this applied to? This card. Apply this effect to that opponent's monster. Okay, so we don't want to reveal a spell because then it gets huge. But if it's a monster, it's like a Sphere Karibo, and if it's a trap card, you just get to kill him. Okay. That's funny. Video assistant referee plus the demon Valifar. I haven't seen Valifar since Kawaki Maru days. Okay, that's a very funny hand to trap. Wait. No, yeah, it does a monster effect targeting your monster on the field. Okay, so it does work both ways. I was wondering how any of these could function with the just targeting effect, but nah, it's all good. This is a funny little hand trap guy. Sure. Next up, the Chakra Sphinx. Oh, okay. That was... okay. Level 8 Earth Rock monster, 2500 attack, 3000 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If the battle position of a monster is changed, you can banish a spell from your graveyard. You special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when the position was changed, or hand even if not. During your main phase, you can set a Book of Taau and or Book of Moon from your deck and or graveyard. Hold on. Once per turn to the battle position of another monster is changed, you can target a card on the field and return to the hand. Hold up. This is actually kind of funky, huh? Huh? That's Oh boy. So, for those of you not in the know, Book of Moon is one of, like, I think it's definitely fallen off at this point, but it was, for a time, one of the strongest staple spells you could be playing, because turning a monster face down has a ton of implications for stopping a monster from doing whatever it wants to try to do. Book of Taau is more known for being abused in flip decks, namely Empty Jar, to take set monsters and flip them up. So Taau and Moon kind of make a good pair with each other. And this card just says, hey, get them every turn. Now, I know for a fact that Book of Moon is a quick play spell card, so when we set it, we're not going to be able to play it that same turn. However, Book of Taau is a... normal spell card, so we can play that immediately to flip up a card. That is so funny. And then that can trigger this Sphinx to bounce a monster, and then on the next turn, during our opponent's turn, we Book of Moon a monster. That's a monster changing its battle position, and you get to bounce another card. And then you get to do that every turn for free? That's goofy. That's really goofy. Oh, I wonder what kind of decks you could put this in, and it would help with stuff. There are some decks that care about position changing inherently. There are things like the wind-ups. A few of them have to change from one position to another to use their effect. Car couriers are always changing their position whenever they're being targeted for an attack, so that might be something. Oh, this is a very fun tech card. Oh, I can't wait to talk about this every so often. Especially because it's a level 8 monster, which is great for all manner of summons, and it doesn't banish itself when it leaves the field. Though you have to banish a spell card from your graveyard to summon it, so it's actually not quite so free. But a spell from your graveyard, like what? You play like a bunch of spell cards that don't do anything in the graveyard, so you might as well convert them into this anytime you need to bring it back. I think that's valid. Yeah, this card's kind of wild. I'm with it. That card's cool. Okay, so I saw the image for this one, Tri-Headed Behemoth, a reference to the classic Twin-Headed Behemoth. This is a level 4 Winged Dragon monster, 1500 attack, 1200 defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per duel. That's pretty similar to the original Twin-Headed Behemoth, because once per duel you could bring it back from the graveyard, but I think it was worded in such a way that it was only for that copy. It's one of those weirdly worded cards, a byproduct of early problem-solving card text. But no, I'm double-checking the text. This might be errata or just a clarification, but it does have the whole, you can only use the effect of Twin-Headed Behemoth once per turn in quotation. So never mind, that is completely fine. But what does this one do? If any number of face-up cards you control are destroyed by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate this effect. During the end phase of this turn, special summon a winged monster from your graveyard, but its attack and defense become 1,000. Okay, so it's Twin-Headed Behemoth on a delayed trigger. It summons any winged monster, though, and it doesn't negate its effects, but it just changes its stat line. Huh. Well, I mean, that's a once per duel effect, so you can't reliably use that, but but it just takes a turn to use is the thing. I don't know. I think maybe it's like it comes down in response to a wind monster being destroyed, so it hits the board, you special summon it, trigger the last effect, and you can like preserve it later if you survive the turn. I'm a bit cooler on this one than the previous one. This is fine. Very funny reference card, though. We'll take that. Okay, next up is Taau The Chanter, a level 2 Earth Illusion Tuner effect monster. Look, there's nothing in this world that can't be gajinkin into a cute girl. Okay, so this is the Dark Magician girl version of the Taau. I think the Illusionist is the monster. It's got 900 attack, 600 defense. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card battles, neither destroy that battle. For everyone who's tired about it, for everyone who's upset about me bragging on this, you better stay upset because I ain't changing at all, and I'm right. If you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon a level 3 or higher illusion monster from your hand or graveyard. Or if you took 2,000 or more damage, you can special summon it from the deck or extra deck instead. Oh, that's funny. So you can just keep it as a wall, regardless of anything. Or you can keep it in attack position, get something for free. If your opponent punches into it hard enough, you get something. You get to summon from deck or extra deck set. Oh. Though it is if you take any battle or effect damage, and it doesn't matter how. So I think the best usage for this is something like Performage, where that deck just deals a bunch of burn damage to yourself all the time. So you can trigger this effect and get a big illusion monster from hand or graveyard. It's 3 or higher. Heck yeah. And it's a tuner. It's a tuner. So we can make friggin' synchros out of those big monsters. Okay. I dig. That's a fun little addition to the team. Okay. Next is Serzabuth Limeargia of the Ebon Irons. Whoa. You know, there are some memes out there of people like making like fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards or like approximations of them where they give them just the most ridiculous names. And more often than not, they're actually pretty on point. And this is a great example of that. Serzabuth Limeargia of the Ebon Irons is like a prototypical Yu-Gi-Oh name. This is cut from the original cloth. It's a rank 7 Dark Beastic Seas monster, 700 attack, 2500 defense, requires 2+ level 7 monsters as material. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. It gains 700 attack for each material attached to it, so minimum we're looking at a 2100 attack monster when it's first summoned. Once per chain, when a normal or quick play spell card is activated, you can attach that card on the field to this face-up card, and if you do, this card is unaffected by the activated effect. And during the end phase, you can set a spell card attached to this card. Oh, that's very funny. So I think the implication here is that we want to be using this against the Magnificestorms. This also kind of combos in a way with the Sphinx card because both Taau and Book of Moon are normal and quick play spell cards. But you might also just want to play it in your own deck. I mean, if you're a rank 7 deck and you have really fun spell cards, you play it, tuck it under this, and then you just get the spell back. It doesn't stop it from resolving. If anything, what you can do is play Dark Hole into this and then attach it under it, and then this becomes unaffected by the activated effect, but it doesn't negate it. It just keeps everything else, or it just keeps itself immune to it. So you do get to blast everything else on the board and keep your big buffer, and then play it again. This is kind of funky. I like the design here. I like what they're going for with this. Now, I don't know what rank 7 deck plays this, but it's very funny. It's kind of like I wouldn't say it's like a Titanic Galaxy Dragon, because that card just straight up negates it before absorbing it. But this is not a once per turn effect. This is a once per chain. So your opponent is, unless they're chaining 2 spells together, they are never going... This monster is never going to worry about what your opponent's spell effects are doing to this, outside of continuous or equip or field spells. This is a fun design. This is really fun. Maybe this will crop up from time to time. I can see the utility on this one. Okay, Miasma Necromancer. Look at that. Look at that goober. Link to Dark Spellcaster, 1800 attack, left and right arrows. I don't see that very often. It requires 2 monsters, including a Dark Spellcaster, and if I am to believe anything about what's going to be coming up, this would have worked with the Bellstar in the past, and is going to work with Dark Magician really well moving forward. If this card is Link Summoned, you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each. If this card is Link Summoned, you can add a level 5 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster from your graveyard to your hand. And if you do, you cannot activate the effects of cards with its name for the rest of the turn. Doesn't matter if that Dark Monster... Well, actually, I guess it does matter if it's a Dark Magician, because while it's a normal monster, there's a lot of monsters that take on Dark Magician's name. And it doesn't say that card. It says cards with its name. So actually, maybe you don't get Dark Magician with this. At least if you intend to use any of their effects that turn. And then you can send a spell or trap card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a spellcaster monster. Hey! Well, good for it. I hope those are some good spellcasters that you're bringing back. I feel like, what, you're supposed to get back a level 5 or 6 with this one so you can treat over the Miasma Necromancer? I don't know. Okay, next up is the Apocaris. This is... Okay, so I look at this and I see, ooh, Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Oh, this is a wild image. And then this is Teeth Knights. These are teeth. Apocalypse. Oh, dude, okay. Stupid. You can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. When this card resolves, place C counters on this card equal to the number of cards your opponent controls. Second effect, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and remove up to 4 C counters from your field. Apply this effect to that monster based on the number removed. If you do 1, it loses 500 attack. 2, changes attack to 0. 3, negate its effects. 4, destroy it. Now, C counters are based on the total number of cards they control. But if I'm reading this correctly, well, you can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. You don't necessarily... Like, this has no restriction on it. This does not have a once per turn anywhere on here, so you can just keep removing C counters as you see fit if you have them to spare. So I guess the question is, are we seeing a stealth drop for a future archetype? Will we be seeing these Cavity Knights clad in armor as their own monsters that use C counters, and this pulls from it? Will Apocaris end up being the gateway of the 6 samurai of a new age? I mean, it's a continuous spell card that uses counters and doesn't have a once per turn on this effect, so it's anyone's guess. Stay tuned for more. Last thing we have is this continuous trap card, Miss Okiku's Dishrithmetric. Dishrithmetric, yeah, that's it. Oh, Dishrithmetic. It's dish math. How fun. I thought we were doing a rhythm thing. So, continuous trap card. Once per chain, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you place dish counters on this card equal to the chain link number of this effect. Okay, so you just kind of activate this in a chain, hopefully at the very end of it, and otherwise just kind of activate it no matter what. Like, if anything happens, just chain this to it, if it's not going to be a whole bunch of chains. So then you put counters on it based on that. Apply these effects based on the number of dish counters on this card. So while it has 9 or less, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, and it can be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. 10 or more, send this card to the graveyard. Third, if this card is sent to the graveyard by its own effect, you can send the top 10 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So all the dishes fall over, and that's 10 cards at the top of your deck. Okay. So it's a self-mill card, is what we're talking about here. If our opponent activates enough cards, or really, oh yeah, it's only if our opponent activates a card or effect we get to chain to this. So, what's the over-under on this? So, if you're chaining this to your opponent's card, this is going to be chain link 2. So, at minimum, this requires 5 activations to get you 10 mills. In the meantime, your opponent can't interact with it unless they use non-targeting removal. And then once it gets to that point, you mill 10. What is... I mean, of course, there are several mill decks out there, but, like, what is one that cares to wait long enough for our opponent to activate 5 cards or effects to get this mill? Now, granted, I don't think that it's impossible for our opponent to activate 5 things in a single turn. It's modern Yu-Gi-Oh! They're activating 5 effects on your turn. So 5 on their turn isn't huge. It just feels like, I don't know, I would just play Needlebug Nest. Like, at this point, it's half the mills, but it's not being telegraphed to my opponent. So, I don't know. I don't know. And, like, as a normal trap card, Needlebug Nest has a lot more support than a continuous trap card. If this was a continuous trap monster, I'd be seeing a different tune, but, you know, normal trap cards are kind of a whole archetype all their own right now. So, I don't know. It's a fun card, though. It's a very fun card. I think there might be something to it. However, all these, once again, just make me wish that we had a mechanic that increased counters on cards. I kind of wish we had a little Magic the Gathering proliferate action going on here. If we had a way to manipulate these counters and increase them on our own terms, I think I'd feel better about cards like this. I'd feel better about Apocaris, a way that just gets counters, never gain more of them. It just kind of sticks around and does nothing once it runs out of C counters. So here's hoping in the future we get something like that. So anyway, pretty meh. This has potential. I could see it. This card's wild. I want to see it in action. Taau the Chanter is pretty good. I can't wait to see how that factors into combo lines. This one's meh. This one's something you got to look out for. Mark my words. This is gonna do something silly in the future. This one is a wild, goofy hand trap, and then of course we have the shoes. All right, cool. Yeah, I had fun with things. These are pretty good. Hats off to you, Doom of Dimensions. You're a pretty interesting set. I can't wait to see where your impact will be moving forward. What do you think about these cards? Are there any specific decks that these free agents will go into that you're excited to see them work their magic in? Is there possibly anything that these shoe cards could be used for? I would love for someone to build a deck around Winds of Victory and have it do something interesting. That would be very funny. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm super interested. And as always, until the next time Konami drops some juicy spoilers, I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout while helping out the channel. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commander, Upstairs Media, Nebula Navigators, 3rd Dynasty, 50 Gigabytes, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Kane Senpai, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Green Knight, Great Big Pillock, Groog, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Marion James E. Picata, Meme King, Millennia Asta, Muse Clark, Neon Yaminair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Pat Boos, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sonic 21 Blast, the Critic of Innocence, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Ally Vatnia, Animasta, Anthrak, a Random Pup, Blitzwolf, Chaz Ghost, Christopher Fuss, again, Chris B, Cool Trainer Dark, Dr. Entity RIP, EB Channel, Eki Bullock, Eva Padilla, Herbal D, Inblink, Julian Marquez, Kale the Dragon, Lobomaru02, Manga Pages, Natiel Lee Alexander, Nitromo, Not Al Gore, Obsidian, Pombo, Rhyme Kairos, Shizuka Nijimura, Simic Toadstool, Sir Knight JCB, Sphilia, Stephen Huntsman, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, The Phantom Knights of Shitted Pants, The Queen of Time, The Gene, Tiger X2476, Tristan O'Meara and Zaldrucka, as well as all the lovely Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.